Hello, folks. This is Rob, and this is Civilization 4 Colonization. And this is from it's a mod basically for Civilization 4, which came out in 2005, I think. And the modification came out in 2008 as a standalone, and that's an update of, I think, like the mid-1990s original Colonization by Sid Meier, which was awesome. I enjoyed playing that greatly. And why am I playing this? Well, because it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, and Thanksgiving is basically, for Americans, about the Pilgrims. And why Thanksgiving exists, that is. The Native Americans and the colonization of the New World and all that fun stuff as people get ripped off trading beads for land and all that wonderful things.
The essence of a free government consists in an effectual control of rivalries. We do not lay ourselves in the service of mankind.
I thought, hey, probably ain't much about this. You know, it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to be here in Scotland. I know American Thanksgiving's not the only Thanksgiving. There's all kinds of Thanksgiving, like there's Canadian Thanksgiving, I know that for a fact. It's on a different day. But it's American Thanksgiving tomorrow. And for those of you around the world who are not Americans, Thanksgiving really is about just spending time with family and close friends. Quite often there's an element of football, American football, but if you're not a sports fan, that's not important to you. I'm not a sports fan myself, but, you know, I do kind of follow the Bears because I'm from Chicago. What you need to know about Thanksgiving is that it's a meal, it's a secular holiday. Everyone basically gets it off in America unless you work in horrible retail jobs where they make you have to work or you're an essential worker. Usually you have the next day off as well. So it's a 4-day weekend, which is pretty unusual for most Americans. And I gotta say, tomorrow is what is commonly called Black Friday. The Friday after Thanksgiving, where it's retail terribleness, so where everyone starts doing their Christmas shopping. And so not so nice if you're in retail. But, this is a fun game. I enjoyed this game. But I think I enjoyed the original Colonization more, and this is really just a modification of Civilization 4. As opposed to its own game. And Colonization could have really used a complete update. Because you go back and forth from Europe to the New World. You have your Congress doesn't quite come over the same, but it has a lot of the functionality. I gotta say, this is probably the best attempt you're going to get using the tools at hand. So, again, continuing with my theme of Thanksgiving. What do you typically do on Thanksgiving? Well, typically there's an enjoyment of a lot of food, the enjoyment of family and friends' company, watching of television, usually like a Thanksgiving Day parade and/or sporting events, which is usually American football, and the food typically tends to be a lot of home cooking. You got, but of specific things. You tend to have like cranberry sauce and turkey and stuffing and some kind of potatoes, and then whatever else tends to be dependent on what your family's traditions are and whatever you tend to like and what you want to do. So, like I know my family, we tend to have Hawaiian salad, which is this combination of sour cream, mini marshmallows, crushed pineapple, mandarin oranges, and coconut, which I don't know why it's called Hawaiian salad, but that's what my mom called it, and that's what I call it. We also typically have a cheesecake. Pumpkin pie is a traditional thing for Thanksgiving. And yes, people do have pies made of pumpkin, and they are sweet and spicy and delicious, and usually served with cream. I remember many a fond holiday spent with my family, playing board games, with my cousins and my sisters, and or playing Yahtzee with the family. I mean, that's one where my great uncle Ralph would get involved, is playing Yahtzee. So enjoy the day with your friends and family, and think of them. And because I'm going to be in Scotland, I'm not going to be able to go home and be with my mom and my sister or my cousins. And my cousins are in like Arizona and Denver. But I am going to call some family and say hi and wish them a good day. And I am going to have a meal here and try to remember them. And that in itself is not a bad thing. A secular day for enjoying and being thankful for your family and friends and remembering them is not a bad thing. And if that's one good thing we can take away from the Pilgrims and the colonization of North America, and there are plenty of other good and bad things that can be argued from that, I would like to think that the remembrance of them for Thanksgiving in that way is an excellent way of doing it. So, I could play the game some. I really totally could, but if you really want to see this game being played, I'd be very happy to do that for you. Just say so in the comments below. But I'm just going to load up a game. I got all the way to, I think, 120. And, yeah, turn 120, 1611 AD, which is, the early 17th century, and that's about when the Plymouth settlers come in, I think, 1621, something like that. They found their colony in Massachusetts, what will become Massachusetts, in their really bass-ackward way of, like, bringing a whole no farmers and bringing goldsmiths. But, go to it, Puritans. And not all Pilgrims are Puritans. All the settlers of Plymouth Rock were Pilgrims. But not all Puritans are Pilgrims. The Puritans are a religious thing. A bunch of ascetic believers in all... basically, they thought England and Cromwell was too easy on things. Oh, jeez. They give religion a bad name. So I prefer to remember the secular side of things. I really do. So here we have founded my Jamestown colony, and here I've founded Plymouth. Now, Plymouth isn't really historically accurate in this case, and neither is Jamestown, but this is a randomly generated North America, and Plymouth has been built inland because it's my second colony. I'm playing as England, well, the English colonist, because quite frankly, I'm up against the English king as opposed to him working with me, because he'll occasionally pop in and say, "Hey, give me a pile of cash," or "Hey, I'm going to increase your taxes." And that's about all he does for me. He might also drag me into a war with, like, say, the Dutch, or with the French, or something like that. And you can see the Dutch have really crammed themselves in here up next to me, and unfortunately, much to the detriment of, I believe, Sitting Bull Indians here. Because I think they're getting by on this little fishing resource, and that's it. So it sucks to be them already. But that's historically accurate, isn't it, folks? Squeezing out Native Americans in favor of the colonies. Yep. So, what do you do in this game? Well, your eventual goal is independence from Europe. And this is the Europe screen, which is just kind of... you can see my tax rate's already up to 19%. It's really where you get your stuff from Europe. You sail to Europe, and you sail back from Europe, but it's just kind of, that screen just because it doesn't require a lot of fine detail. Here we have my Revolution Advisor. Colonial forces are currently 3 soldiers, 1 veteran, 2 militia, and there are no dragoons, there are 2 cannons, and no warships. The Royal Expeditionary Force, which I would have to face if I were to declare a revolution and, declare independence, would be 22 regulars, 7 regular dragoons, 11 artillery, and 9 warships. I would be utterly and totally smashed. But also, 13% of the people support independence, so it would be doomed to failure. I also happen to have 50 muskets and 62 horses in the entirety of my colonies. So if I need to arm 1 more militia unit, I can. I could even turn a soldier into a dragoon. No, at this very early point, we're in no way fit for a revolution. But the king is suspicious of us and has all this stuff, because he's a jerk. Here's our foreign advisor. Here's how we get along with the King of England. He's cautious against us. That's always great. He's supposed to be on my side. Here's Adrian van der Donk, who's the Dutch player. We're kind of squished up next to him. Sitting Bull is cautious, because, he's getting squished by us as well. Logan, I believe he's of the Shawnee, is pleased. Una Kupak is pleased. He's of the Incas, but of course it's easy to keep them happy when they're far away. Here's Agibana. I think he's of the Arawak, something like that. Alcanostota. I know I'm pronouncing that horribly. He's also pleased. I have a defensive pact with him, and he's Iroquois, I think. And then we have Kunhara Bebe, which is like some, I forget, whatever the tribe is that lives like in the Amazon. Here's my military advisor telling us about what units we have and what resources are produced and what do the opponents have. Here is my founding fathers. Now, as you can see, I already have some founding fathers, and you earn them from exploration points and from political points. So, Juan Ponce de Leon, 2 times likely to get treasure from ancient ruins. I got that one. Vasco Nunez de Balboa, plus 25 defense in all settlements. That'll come in very handy. I have that one. Gonzalo Jimenez Quesada reveals all tales of burial grounds and ancient ruins, which was handy for exploration. Pedro Alvarez Cabral has gone over to Adrian van der Donk, which means 50% less time travel time to Europe, which is a big advantage, and I wish I had that one, but I don't. As you can see, various founding fathers are available. Lewis and Clark will eventually become available. Alexander von Humboldt will eventually become available. John Smith. Jacques Marquette. Juan de Bermudez. Giovanni Derverazzo, and he's already been picked up by Adrian van der Donk. So they got a free caravel out of that. And then there's the religious types. We got you get the earnings through religion points and political points. You have Juan de Sepulveda, Thomas Hooker, Bartolome de Casas, William Brewster, and so on and so on and so on. And then there's the trade folk. Get these by earning trade points, or by, again, political points. Military points. Political points only. So, John Winthrop, Ben Franklin, Samuel Adams. Here's our Continental Congress as it is so far. This here starts our diplomacy, so if I want to talk to somebody, hey Kingy, This fatuous jerk is our king. Could you spare some military for our protection? Thank you, I feel so much safer now. But hey, that's the first time I've ever gotten cash back from him. So, and in theory, I could use that money to buy a soldier. I can go here to Europe screen and purchase a unit. And, let's see here. A veteran soldier is a 1,575 gold at the moment. But he is a veteran soldier. If I just got like a generic guy and equipped him with muskets, that'd be 50 muskets, and that would run me... there we are. 350 gold for 50 muskets. Because I buy at 7, I sell at 4. And as you can see, I have a soldier sitting on the docks waiting to be picked up. He's awesome. So, units move around. It's a usual tile-based dynamic. This is a wagon train. That allows me to trade with places. Like, say, for example, I do this. And I go and trade. And I go, hey, your cotton's really cool. What do you want for that? 43 bucks? Sure. Bye. And I check the wagon train back, and we'll be dropping that cargo off. Here I have a treasure unit. I could send that back through the king. He would take a half cut. Instead, I will use my own galleon to bring that back. I'll just have to pay taxes. These are Native Americans who are converted from by my missionaries, and I'm going to use them to found a new settlement. There we have the Roanoke colony. And since it's a bit inland, I'm going to start with the warehouse right away. Because it is on water, but this water is not easily reachable. It's like you have to go around and about to get there. It's a lot easier to get it there over land. This here is a pioneer. He's actually a normal colonist, but he's also a pioneer. I am using him to run a road out. As you would.
Very well.
And when he gets here, I'm going to have him join the colony and then contribute his tools to the stores of the Roanoke colony for the building of things. Because you need lumber and tools and stuff to make things happen.
Me lord.
And we end our turn. And we've built a dry dock, which means we can actually do repairs here in Jamestown now, should our ship become damaged by pirates or something. Which is totally a thing you can do. You can have pirates going around. Privateer, see? Go out, attack shipping, capture things. It's great. Great way to make some money. And because we have a dry dock, we can actually build some shipping. We can build a merchantman or a caravel. We can also just build points, or I can build improvements to the town itself. Let's say, for example, I wanted to build a weaver shop because I wanted to improve the efficiency of the conversion of cotton to textile cloth. Right? This seems to be the tips, which I thought I'd turned off. Really? Really? I had turned this off. Okay. This is a simple caravel with cargo. I'm going to now drop that cargo. And now we'll load it with new cargo. Finished goods are what you generally want to be bringing back to Europe. But anything that's profitable, really. But in this case, cloth and rum is a good choice. And all I need to do is press this go back to Europe thing, and it'll take the shortest trip back to Europe. Which, in most circumstances, does you just fine. This is my scout. I'm having him go around and meet the natives. This is Anar, one of my scouts. That's my galleon. Have that go to Jamestown. You can see the wagon train's gotten back, and now we'll send the wagon train on out over to Plymouth. And this is how we can move things around internally without having to rely on shipping or anything like that. Oh, see, here we go. Now look at this jerk. Don't you just want to kick him in the face? Yeah, and so he wants to tax my tools, right? He wants to increase the tax rate by 2%, and I can have the Jamestown Tool Party, which means I will not accept your increase in taxation, blah, 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 blah. But it also means I dump all the tools in Jamestown into the water, and I don't get them back. And I won't be able to buy any tools in Europe, which is my cheapest way of accessing tools at the moment. And I need tools for all kinds of improvements. So, and because he's a jerk, he knows that. I can accept to kiss his ring and accept the taxes and go, thank you, my majesty. And I may well have to do that because I can't really afford to be independent on tools at the moment. I am trying to make tools, but I'm not really set up for that. So, smoochy smoochy. You don't like that, doing that, I gotta say. They got that bit right. Alright, so the galleon's gotten in. Dump off cargo. Load that on board. Have him wait. Have that join my colony. That's a hardy pioneer. He's actually faster at doing improvements, so he's going to be a pioneer, basically. He's going to do work for me. Now, cities like this, even a big city like this... Oh, go away. Can only operate over a very small area, just the immediate surrounding tiles. Okay? So, just that 8 around Jamestown. So building improvements out here isn't very useful to me, unless it's something I need for the purposes of like strategy. For example, like I have a road here, and I have a road leading out this way to make it easier to trade with Chota over here. And I might extend my road network a bit more. Also, I might like to be a bit of a jerk and like have roads over to Fort Nassau, so when it comes time for a bit of fighting, I can move around rather freely. But I am going to need a road out to Roanoke, and I already have a guy working on that. It's making all kinds of suggestions, but I mean... it's not really productive for those places. What do I have here? Do I have a farm here? No, I don't have a farm here. That's a place that would actually be worth working on. So we'll do that. And here we have our wagon train, and we're going to pick up some cloth and coats, and we're going to bring that back and offload that stuff because we can. And now we can load up the galleon. Cloth, coats, rum, and I could bring back sugar if I wanted, but I'm actually turning sugar into rum, I believe. I could bring back the cotton and the fur as well, but I'm actually using those resources for production. Just gonna look at Jamestown here. Yeah, my fur trader was not doing furs because he didn't have raw material. I'm gonna have him do the furs again. Which means nobody's doing the sugar. I have a tobacconist, but I don't have any tobacco. Have you do the rum. There we go. And, right. I think that's everything I'm going to do with that. So, we'll send that back. Oh. Yeah, get on there. Okay. And that will bring back the treasure as well as the cargo. And my wagon train is free to use again. As you can see, the English King of England is alarmed at rebel sentiment, and he's added 7 troops to the expeditionary force. And Plymouth is running out of storage for lumber, which I gotta say, I'm not sure where all the lumber is coming from, because we're certainly not cutting it. And let's see, how's some things up here in Roanoke? Well, of course, you're mining silver. Why not? Why wouldn't you be mining silver instead of focusing on the growth of the colony? See, they do this kind of thing. Here, instead of doing that, how about you plant tobacco if that's what you'd rather be doing and making money? Right. Cargo of tools. I had more tools than I could actually store there, so that's important to pick those up. And we'll just go and take that down here to Sitting Bull and see, hey, interested? Why'd you give me that? Well, I paid $200 for him, so $250 is fine. And go! Stick a farm there. And I've just about explored the landmass. It's a small landmass, so it's not really supposed to be a big deal here. I can hurry up the immigration of these people for expending cash, and a master blacksmith would actually be probably a nice thing. So, because my scouts are basically done, this seasoned scout with the extra experience is going to become a field medic unit, because I've given him a healing thing. And that'll be how he can be useful for my wartime purposes later. But right now, I'm just going to have him go back here and sit in Plymouth as the garrison. And this other one, which is not as experienced, will be just simply turned back into a settler. This is one of my ships, and it's finally returned from its trade mission.
What is it, my lord?
I'm using this caravel locally to trade goods around with Indians a bit further away. And I'm betting somebody would be interested in horses and tools. And I was thinking of sailing... Yeah, it's Haiti, I think. Now I'm establishing a mission here. And here. Really? And you've gone to silver as well. Sometimes there's just no teaching you folks. Right. Yeah, extra movement for my merchant shipping vessels? Yes, I like that. And as you can see, we sold off that treasure with a 21% tax, but that was well worth the profit. I mean, these only cost me like, I think, $3,000 for the galleon. Having brought back several treasure caravans, the galleon has paid for itself. And since we didn't throw all our tools into the sea. We can still buy them, which allows me to make money by selling them on to the natives. But also I'm being a bit of a jerk in selling arms to the natives as well, because I bet the Dutch aren't going to appreciate that. In fact, I will bring him back to Roanoke Colony. So you get the picture. This is the game. If you want to see more, I'll be happy to do so, but it's basically my special game for Thanksgiving. So, if you do observe Thanksgiving, I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoy your time with your friends and family. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I still hope you have a very great day. Thank you for watching, folks. And a special thank you to all 22 of my subscribers as at this point. You really do help motivate me to keep up with this. So thank you, and have a great day. Goodbye.